Empowering, liberating, and shockingly honest. It's the Weston Martinez Podcast on 930amtheanswer.com. Now here's Weston Martinez.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in today to the Weston Martinez Show. We've got so much to talk about, it is going to knock your hair off. And I tell you what, this last week, it was very interesting because, you know, the Planned Parenthood momentum has been building. The beginning of the end has been epic in what we have seen, not only in Texas, but around the country. You know, just this last week in Texas, we saw different Planned Parenthood facilities around the state that were raided by state officials with the Inspector General's office, where each of them submitted 5 duplicate subpoenas to the location. At this point, the folks here at the Weston Martinez Show have found out that those subpoenas, when they went forward, they were actually going in there and they were asking about records related to employees, related to patients. The next thing that's going to happen is going to be talking about their shredding policies. And I know some of the folks here in the studio that were here earlier, we were talking about how that's going to be a major impact on the future of Planned Parenthood. And let me just tell you what, let me be the first one to say that Planned Parenthood is going to be the next Enron. I'm telling you, if you work at Planned Parenthood, you need to be prepared for a grand jury investigation. You need to be prepared to be drawn in as a witness, and you need to be prepared to tell the truth about the practices that have gone on inside of Planned Parenthood. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, just like with Enron, there's going to be people that they were unknowing participants in what took place. But there are going to be those that knew every single detail of what was taking place. And I guarantee you that as that unfolds, the similarity between the Planned Parenthood and Enron is the fact that we are going to see an institution, a wicked institution, but we're going to see an institution disappear like the dinosaurs. And just like Enron did, you're going to have different places where Planned Parenthood's name will be wiped off the faces of buildings, the faces of all these different places that they advertise. And I tell you what, if never in Texas history, in recent modern history, has the state of Texas or any major state gone out and done such an unprecedented roundup. I mean, you had people from different media that were there from all across the land that had gotten tipped off about this taking place. You had Planned Parenthood initially. The people in San Antonio and in Dallas, initially they said, this is nothing more than a politically motivated witch hunt. Well, guess what? As we've come to find out since then, Governor Greg Abbott has come out and said some things that kind of have tipped those people that are watching where we're actually going with this. And it is going to be a widespread investigation, which again is why we let people know if you have a family member that works there or a friend that works there or a coworker that works there, you need to tell them that they need to look out for things that they were doing. You know, if a superior asks them to do something that might be out of the ordinary, they need to just make a note of that, contact the Inspector General's office. You are protected under whistleblower guidelines in the United States of America. I know that there's probably going to be some new czar that's going to try to get rid of whistleblower protection, but that's just politics as it goes rough and tumble. But this is something that is key to the future of our society. When we talk about the tax dollars that Planned Parenthood is receiving, remember, folks, they don't just receive a little bit of your tax dollars. They received last year over $500 million in federal dollars. That's not including all of the state work that they receive and all of the foundation dollars that they receive. And as we mentioned previously, let's not forget that the head of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, daughter of the former governor, now passed away, Ann Richards, let's not forget that when she gave her congressional testimony just 2 weeks ago, she went out there and said that, Mr. Congressman, you're confused. We don't provide mammograms. To which the congressman said, well, maybe you should expand your business practice. So, and furthermore, they couldn't even state what profit is. You know, they went out there and the congressional panel did a good job of working with the IRS. No thanks to Lois Lerner. I'm certain that she wasn't involved in this process. But they went and used their own tax returns, their nonprofit tax returns, back at Planned Parenthood. And they asked them, they said, well, how can you say you don't make profit? You made $127 million over your expenses. To which Cecile Richards, the president of Planned Parenthood nationally, who just got a salary bump to, I want to say right at $450,000 or $500,000. She got a $250,000 salary raise, I think is what she received. But when you look at this, she actually went in there and said that they are a nonprofit agency, therefore they didn't make profit. Ladies and gentlemen, if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it is not a chicken. So, again, as we move forward in the next coming days, you need to be vigilant about contacting your congressman, contacting your people at city council, contacting your communities that are involved in the process, the chambers of commerce. You know, go look up the people that were sponsors for the different Planned Parenthood fundraisers in your area, and ask them, what are they doing to protect themselves legally? What are they doing so that they aren't brought into something unknowingly? Because unfortunately, there are people that are deceived by Planned Parenthood's overall mission and don't understand the negative secondary impacts that takes place because of all the great marketing that they do. I tell you what, if Planned Parenthood was in any other business, they'd be a leader, because they can get people to kill their own babies and make them think that it's a good thing for them, even though medical records report and show that women that have had abortions have multiple different things that they have to deal with in their long-term health care needs, many of which go unknown for a while, but certainly do surface over time. And you know, whether you're talking about mental anguish, whether you're talking about physical ability to or to not have children in the future, it's just, there's all kinds of things going on with that. It was very interesting that in the Daily Signal, that whenever they went in there and talked about this whole Planned Parenthood situation, you know, it kind of was a response to those people at Planned Parenthood and how they said that this is nothing more than a witch hunt. Well, guess what the breaking news is this week? The breaking news this week is that the Health and Human Services received the contact from the whistleblowers, like we talked about earlier. So we wanted to mention that at the bottom of the show, like we mentioned at the top of the show. And Bowen, with the Inspector General's office, told the Dallas Morning News that his office is confirmed they're investigating Planned Parenthood due to the specific allegations of fraud that were brought to us by the whistleblower. So when you're talking about whistleblower and you're talking about fraud, that comes really close to getting to where we're talking about Medicare, Medicaid fraud. And let me tell you what, that is not something that you get to go, that you don't go straight to jail on. Because you will be investigated by the Criminal Investigation Division of the IRS. You'll be investigated by the Inspector General. I guarantee you the Texas Rangers will be involved. The FBI will be involved. Every little agency you've ever heard of that has a 2, 3, or 4-letter acronym, they're going to be involved in this. So again, we want to encourage you to contact the people in government in your area. Let them know to stop the funding of Planned Parenthood. But more importantly, we need to be vigilant on getting to the bottom of what's been taking place with your tax dollars, with your money, so that we can continue to make this country stronger and prioritize our spending as it should be. So Again, thanks for tuning into the Weston Martinez Show. Please share this message on Facebook and Twitter with your friends and family, and God bless.
Share the Weston Martinez podcast on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you for listening to the Weston Martinez podcast on 930amtheanswer.com. You now have Weston's permission to download another chapter.